Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below, it really helps.
So, you're a Dodge owner, and that mysterious code P051C has popped up on your scanner. Yeah, it can be a real head-scratcher. But don't worry, today we are going to dive deep and turn all that confusion into some serious clarity. You know the feeling. You're just driving along, minding your own business, and then, bam, that dreaded check engine light flicks on. It's basically your car's way of sending out an SOS. But let's be honest, the message can be pretty cryptic. Well, today, we're decoding one of those messages, the P051C error code. Every good investigation starts by gathering the evidence, right? So in this first part, that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll figure out what this code really means and what symptoms you should be looking out for. Let's see what clues the car is giving us. Okay, so at its heart, P051C points straight to an issue with the crankcase pressure sensor's signal circuit. Now, this sensor is super important. Its job is to keep an eye on the pressure inside your engine's crankcase. When your car's main computer gets a signal that's way too low or just not what it expects, it throws up this specific code as a red flag. The symptoms here are pretty consistent, which is actually helpful for us. Of course, you've got the check engine light. That's a given. But you'll probably feel this problem too. Your car might feel sluggish, like it's struggling to get going. And you might notice you're hitting the gas station a lot more often. These are the classic calling cards of a P051C code. All right, we've gathered our evidence. Now it's time to line up the potential culprits. There are 4 main reasons this code gets triggered, and we're going to treat them just like suspects in an investigation. Let's break down who or what they are. And here it is, our case board. The suspects basically fall into a few groups. We've got 2 different kinds of wiring problems, a sensor that's just gone bad, or the main computer, the PCM, acting up. This gives us an awesome overview of each problem and its fix. Think of this as our roadmap for the whole investigation. Okay, we know our suspects. Now we need a plan of attack. We're going to follow a really logical diagnostic path. We'll start with the most common and, frankly, the easiest things to check first, and then work our way up to the more complex stuff. Our first 2 suspects are basically cousins. They're both about the wiring. Seriously, before you go out and start buying expensive new parts, the very first place you should look is at the wires and connectors. A simple frayed wire or a loose connection is so often the hidden cause of a major headache. Now, it's pretty important to know the difference between these 2. A short to ground means the signal wire is literally touching the car's metal body. But a short to sensor ground means it's touching its own little return wire. The solution for both is pretty much the same: inspect and fix the wiring. But knowing the difference can help you find the problem a whole lot faster. Okay, so you've looked over all the wiring and everything seems perfect. No breaks, no corrosion, it all looks good. So what's next? Well, that's when our third suspect takes the stage, the crankcase pressure sensor itself. You know, sometimes parts just wear out and fail. It happens. The fix for this one is pretty straightforward. First, you'll need to find the sensor on your specific Dodge engine. A quick search online or a look in your service manual will show you exactly where it is. Once you find it, it's usually just a matter of unplugging the old one and plugging the new one in. A lot of times, this will solve the problem right away. And that brings us to our final and definitely most serious suspect, the powertrain control module, or PCM. This thing is the big one. It's the central computer, the actual brain of your vehicle. Now, it's the least likely cause for sure, but a malfunctioning PCM can absolutely trigger this code if it's not reading the sensor's signal correctly. Let me be crystal clear about this. Step 1 is absolutely crucial. Because replacing a PCM is both complicated and expensive, you have to rule out every other possibility first. This is your absolute last resort. Only when you are 100% sure it's the PCM should you even think about a replacement. So, we've identified the evidence, we've gone through the lineup of suspects, and we've followed the diagnostic path. The case of the P051C code is almost closed. Now, let's just quickly wrap up our findings and figure out what your next step should be. You know, at the end of the day, just being armed with this knowledge is your best tool. Understanding what might be wrong and how to check for it step by step empowers you to either fix it yourself or, at the very least, have a much smarter conversation with your mechanic. So, the case is officially in your hands now. You know the potential causes, from something as simple as a bad wire all the way up to the car's main computer. The only question left is, what's your first move? Are you grabbing a flashlight to check out that wiring, or is it time to call in the pros? The choice is yours. Thanks for tuning in and drive safe.